I'm about to show you something very unique in the automotive world. Now, stay with me and take a look at something. Underneath the TRD Pro, take a look at the exhaust system. It's beefy, it's well constructed, it's thick. You know that you have a very aggressive system installed with this. Let me take you over here, come on with me, and look underneath at the exhaust system of the Trailhunter. As I move around, one thing that I'm going to tell you right now, when you find it, you're not actually going to find it here. And no, it is not an electric vehicle. That's why there is an exhaust system in this. So don't move from your seats. I'm going to take you under both of them right now. Let's start with the Toyota Trailhunter. The concept originally came out in 2022 at the SEMA show on a Tundra. And it kind of started getting people to take notice, and especially for us in the Toyota world, we saw the origin story of Toyota is moving into the off-road segment for real. I'm going to go back slowly, and I want you to notice that the first third of this vehicle is armor plated. Take a look around. I'll go through this with you in just 1 second, but everything looks so well protected. There's the beginning of the exhaust system. As I promised, it really does have one. While it's a hybrid, it still needs an exhaust system. On the right, you're gonna see the gas tank. There, right there, is the beginning of the drive shaft. And what's interesting is this drive shaft is broken into 2 pieces, unlike the Pro, which I'm gonna show you in a few seconds. And now there's that exhaust system, as I promised you, tucked up underneath the truck, high, right next to the differential, so that it's really up over any type of water or terrain that may be rough. And you see how high it is? Up, really tucked in there. Now, one thing I'm sure you see, just as clearly as I see it right now, is that there is rust on that plate on the diff. Now, why in the world, with the amount of focus that Toyota has put into this Trailhunter, bare naked metal disc there with rust on it? I don't know why they would do that, why they didn't coat it, but very strange. Hopefully we won't see any long-term negative impact. Trailhunter plate, love it. Everything about the Trailhunter is specific to the Trailhunter. Now this is aluminum. It is aluminum armor, and I know some people would say, never on my truck, they only want steel. But by the same token, unless you're doing some really hardcore stuff, there's nothing wrong with aluminum. It's a little lighter. Now, the gas tank on the left right there, it is covered in plastic. When speaking to some of the technicians, and I'm wondering, why is this not covered in aluminum the same as the rest of the armor? And the idea came out that possibly because of a potential gas leak, a spark, something like that is just more of a safety thing. And of course, Toyota's always gonna be safety focused. Now, let's look at the drive shaft here. I want you to take a look at it real quick. As we go up there, like I said, it's really tucked up high, up and into the vehicle, and it is in 2 parts. Now let's go over here really quickly. I want you to take a look at the Pros. And you just notice it immediately. The giant, it is 1 piece front to back. And like I said, one of the most beautiful things that I'm seeing here is these are 2 truly purpose-built vehicles in the Toyota lineup, competing with each other, but not really competing for the same type of buyer. Wonderful. We'll get back to the Pro in just 1 minute. Now back to the Trailhunter, you see a lot of unique things under here, unlike anything I've seen in any previous Pro. First, we have the Old Man Emu. Of course, this is coming from Australia, very well reputed, owned by ARB as well. Trailhunter, again, we just see that everywhere, over and over, the theme of the Trailhunter, and I love that. Just geek out about it. Now, the rear suspension for the Old Man Emu is an external reservoir, as you see here, and my God, is it thick. It's huge. It has to be able to take that incredible 460 pound-feet of torque. Now here we have the rock rails. Not the best rock rails in the world. I like to see rock rails that kind of flare out at the back of the vehicle, just in case you're near an object, it'll push the vehicle away from it. But here you have it. They still are awesome and purpose-built. They are bolted right into the frame. They are solid steel, powder-coated, and again, bolted right there into the frame. And what's really interesting is you see that right there, that little wax drip. This is internally waxed at the factory, which is a very rare thing. I only know this because when I was going over it with the technicians, they somehow thought this was an amazing thing. So if the technicians think that, it is. Now from the rear view, well, just a lot of busy stuff there. One thing there's the bump stops, of course, just normal in case the frame goes up if it's overworking. Take a look right there. What do you see? Fox. Now, isn't that interesting? Why would they have a Fox logo when they're using Old Man Emu here? Now let's go over to the Pro. In a very short time frame, the Toyota Pro line, it was just an overnight success. Beautiful truck, very aggressive how they came out with the new lineup. And take a look at that exhaust. Just big, beefy, strong exhaust. That gorgeous ARB setup in the back where we have, again, sensors in the bumper, but you have a metal bumper. Those big red recovery points, you could probably lift this truck up by those recovery points and just lift it right up into the sky and it would still be fine. That big, thick frame that we're all aware of. Let's take a close look at that IRB. Just look at that. Just beautiful. Metal frame is seamless. You see those sensors right on the bottom there too. Not just on top, underneath. That big TRD exhaust, just in case you forget that this is the bad boy. And now here we have the Fox suspension, which is absolutely the suspension for all Pro line, except for the first year. They used a Bilstein. But the rest of them came out with the Fox external reservoir suspensions, and Toyota's just never looked back. And everyone's happy with them. Beautiful, beautiful suspension. Again, that external reservoir just so much thicker than the previous generation. And we have a little valve right there. And you can actually firm up the suspension. So if you're driving around the city more and more, you'll have less body roll, and you can loosen it up so that the suspension will just, the shocks will just have more give, and of course, more off-road capability. Now, one thing's for sure, people love to play with this. Just make sure you check that all of them are at the exact same setting so your truck is balanced. I have to say this is kind of a disappointing part where in Fords, they just have an electric button where you can press inside and it can do it all. But there you go, it has a nice satisfying click. That big, thick external reservoir on the Fox suspension. Really made for some Baja and some high-speed desert runs. Here's the bump stop. Protect that frame, but there is where we saw in the Trailhunter a little cover plate that just said Fox. But here we have something different. This is an actual suspension for the suspension, so that if it pushes up too high, there's an actual shock in there. Really, really purpose-built from front to back. Now, unlike the Trailhunter, it's very clean under here. Doesn't have as much. It just looks like it has a lot more open air, allow all that dust and sand and snow to just move right through. Now here we have the tow hooks. I have to urge everyone here Do not ever use these as recovery points. This is made to be pulled on the back of a truck slowly with the wheels in neutral. One thing I found interesting with the skid plate, it has this like plastic ridge, and it just feels cheap. I don't know. I'm not really a fan of it. Looks nice, and again, it'll do what it needs to do. It's no big deal. And here you have the front suspension. Also with the valve right there. If you need to use it, or if you need to adjust it. I do like the sound of that click. Now here you see the beginning of the drive shaft. And it just goes down in one big solid piece. And there's the rear diff with the sticker upside down. The gas tank, which is protected with the plastic as well. Just what a solid vehicle. Just everything is so strong. Just built to last. Built to go anywhere. Now, of course, this one comes down lower than the Trailhunters. You won't have the same clearance in the back. But the idea is you don't need the same clearance in the back. Guys, there you have it. Just magnificent vehicles.
And so there you have it, guys. Trailhunter and Pro, two masterpieces. And you know what? Toyota's just getting started.